That is a fluorescent light that hangs above my office door that says work harder. It also says the same thing tattooed on my wrist. The only time I really get bummed out or depressed is when I'm not being productive. Less Fortnite, more work.
This time I've got the day off work, and so I plan to spend all day being super productive.
Throughout human history, there has been a never-ending search on how to live the best life. Philosophers such as Confucius, Plato, Aristotle, Kant, Schopenhauer, you name it, have all dedicated their lives to, in part, finding this out. And I think all of us at some point have asked ourselves, how do we make ourselves happy? What fulfills us? What is the purpose of life? What is my purpose? In recent history, we have confused this notion of how to be happy and live with the hustle. I like to call it hustle porn, because people watch it so much. How to be productive. This is particularly pertinent in the United States, where we have a toxic work culture. Everything comes down to greed. Hello, B. My fear is that if this continues with the echo chambers and the filter bubbles that have been put in place,
a whole generation is more anxious, more depressed.
If technology creates mass chaos, loneliness, more polarization, more election hacking, more inability to focus on the real issues,
humanity is toast. We are literally powering this battery and not really fulfilling our own needs.
The government did this to us. We were normal, good, law-abiding citizens.
For this video, I'm going to be talking about how COVID-19 has not only pushed people into the digital world, but forced why people are pushing and seeking content on how to be more productive, and how artificial intelligence and algorithms have a play in this. COVID has pushed people to be in this metaverse, into this digital verse, because there's no other safer option. Even my grandparents, who weren't on Facebook that often, now have a little bit more drive to learn how to use Facebook, simply because that's how you watch church now. And it's how we do classes, it's how we do online school, it's how we do literally everything. Many people who have failed to acknowledge a lot of what's happening in the digital world can't help but turn their heads when they see, oh, NFTs, this digital piece of art was just sold for millions of dollars. Why? When you can just consume it for free. This isn't going to be a video on, cryptocurrency. Just know I'm a big crypto guy. So why has there been this push to be more productive and, the buzzword of productivity? Have you noticed how things have gotten a little bit more intense now? Like, really, why are we doing things and feeling like we have to do more and more? Why are you watching this video at 2 times speed? Like, I have never seen this amount of attention shift from vlogging and this is what I'm doing today, come hang out with me. And now it's shifted to this, how do I be more productive at work and get value in my life from you?
For quite a while now, I have been fascinated by Elon Musk's ability to accomplish incredibly difficult things, and often at a ridiculously fast pace, expecting his employees to work long hours, outwork the competition at every point,
and basically give up any semblance of a work-life balance.
3 words. Give me inspiration for any day I'm feeling down.
3 words.
3 words.
You're gonna die. Yeah, that's inspiration.
Ever since the pandemic started, these creators like Ali Abdaal, Thomas Frank, you could probably name some of your own that you watch, have blown up because of this buzzword of productivity hacks.
Think about your family. Think about the people you're working for. Think about making yourself proud. Because there is a kid around the corner who might be working harder than you. You're gonna take the kid and you're gonna kill him. Stop watching this video. Stand up and go do. Just be a hard worker and things will come.
At first, personally, I raved about, here's how to edit faster in Premiere Pro, the editing software that I use. How to type faster. But then it's just when does it stop? And why are we doing this in the first place? What are we sacrificing when we're focusing on these things so much? Like, seriously, why is it so important that we have to translate this American capitalism into video games such as Animal Crossing?
Today I'm going to be showing you how to make millions of bells in Animal Crossing using completely legitimate methods.
Basically, things are getting more competitive. There's more students going to college. There's more demand to get in a bigger university for that credibility, to set yourself apart, to not just be every other resume in order to get that job that you wanted, in order to make more money, in order for more. But this has also caused, the expectation that everyone must go to college and that everyone must have 4 internships, that you don't dedicate time to partying and even have a social life is, I think, going to be looked down upon even in the future if it continues. Unfortunately, I have sacrificed much of my free time and, social life to this work because I was influenced by figures like Casey Neistat, who told me to work harder and that good things will only come if I work hard. And he made me believe that, I wouldn't be satisfied if I was bored for a second.
How are there this many people that have all this time and no way to occupy it? You could build a city with all the free time that people spend sitting around being bored, sending me snaps of themselves sitting around being bored.
There is a price to pay when you are hustling all the time. One of the stories that we talked about in COM 327, the critical analysis of communication media, was Herman Melville's Bartleby. If you don't know who Bartleby is, the story pretty much goes as this lawyer hires a pretty quiet but respectable young fellow that is promising to do work. He worked for the post office previously, organizing letters that had been unopened because they were considered undeliverables, because probably they were dead people. So he would take those valuables out of those letters and send them off to be burnt, never to be seen by intended receivers, which really is an automated task, but it's also just, that's got to be so exhausting to go through dead people's letters, you know what I mean? So Bartleby stops doing work. His famous catchphrase is, "I'd prefer not to," and he ends up unsubscribing from everything. Even eating in jail, dies because of this idea. And I think a lot of people are sympathetic of Bartleby after this school year. I wish I could say straight to my boss's face, like, "I'd prefer not to." Melville considered this a critique of society. Even though this story was published in 1853, it's more prevalent today because more people than ever are anti-work. People are tired of working all the time and they're burnt out. And I think a lot of people think that the answer to solving this problem is, let's be more productive to get my work out of the way so I can then have a social life, take care of myself. But that actually just furthers the cause of this promotion of work all the time, this toxic work culture that we have created. As many of you know, Elon Musk is the techno daddy of Tesla, and he is at the forefront of artificial intelligence. From his extensive experience with AI, he has become more fatalistic rather than scared of what it's going to do, because he really has solidified his belief that just as we step on ants and don't think much about it, AI is going to do that to us. No hard feelings. It's just, you're in my way, and you're pretty insignificant already, right?
I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years. It's less of a worry than it used to be, mostly due to taking more of a fatalistic attitude. It's definitely going to be outside of human control. The danger is going to be more humans using it against each other, I think, most likely. That'll be the danger.
I think that artificial intelligence is sort of an S-curve growth, and we are right in the middle of it. we're not just, oh, it's going to creep up on us. We're already here in a lot of cases. And it's going to take a while for people to realize that. But I think that once Tesla successfully proves that, hey, autonomous cars are actually safer than humans because they have less air, then people are going to be like, oh, so we really are at the future. And I think we're at a transitional stage where it's not just, oh, well, I can create automatic commands and keyboard shortcuts with my computer, but doing really sophisticated tasks that a robot can't do any better, and why would you ever hire a human to do that anymore? I have a little bit more of an optimistic view that, since we are the creators, we should be able to set limits, apply taxes. I think we should do this just to slow it down. In North Carolina and half of the other states, the most popular job is a truck driver. I mean, think about how many jobs are going to be replaced if the US just doesn't regulate this. And at some point, if we don't have any regulation, all of our jobs are going to be assigned to robots, which pretty much means we are headed into a socialist society. Or perhaps it's more of a high-class, low-class society where the creators and innovators are on the high class when they get to control what AI does. And, I don't really know what's left for us. Maybe just, of course, nursing, least automated tasks that you can do is still going to be around for a while. Andrew Yang talks about this with plumbing. Like, it's going to be a while until we can get a robot that can successfully plumb. So there's a lot of technical jobs that are about to increase in demand, and a lot of jobs, even at this university, which prepares students for jobs that aren't going to be there when they graduate. The United States is one of the most technologically and insanely advanced countries and societies the world has ever seen. We are really living in a golden age of humanity. While I am thankful of being born in 2000, the new millennium, and seeing, the launch of the iPhone and growing up with it, as our parents love to say, I really don't want to lose sight of the future. Mark Fisher, who studied this concept called revitalism, has deemed the 21st century as the 20th century culture.
It's to have 20th century culture on higher definition screens, or 20th century culture distributed by high-speed internet, actually.
I mean, imagine losing sight of the future, having the inability to innovate and imagine because we're so distracted with our phones and soon-to-be VR goggles. We're never going to be bored. I see a lot of it happening already with Stranger Things. The 80s is very popular in 2020s. In a lot of ways, I think the 1920s is about to reoccur. Because of the 1918 pandemic, there's going to be a social boom after that because people are locked up. They want to revenge spend. They want to get back out because they've been stuck in their homes for a year. And you know what comes after that? An economic depression, but we won't get into that. I think one of the most cringy things is TikTok songs being completely commoditized. Here's an example. In conclusion, I don't think that work is always bad, but the way that we're going about it right now is quite toxic to our mental health and our physical health. I don't want to lose sight of the future. I want to keep innovating. I want to see flying cars and cool rocket ships coming down, and it'd be really cool to see humanity become the first interplanetary species, at least that we know of. Of course, becoming an interplanetary species takes work, but it takes a balance. And if we go one way or the other, we're not going to be that. Thank you for watching. If you did like this, please hit the like button so other people can hear it. I make videos at NC State University, athletics, career center, the newspaper, you name it. This is just a class project of mine, and I appreciate you making it this far if you did. You guys want to see the clouds? You can't watch it at 2 times speed, okay?